XOXO! Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 best Gossip Girl couples. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we'll be looking at the best romantic relationships between characters of the infamous young adult drama. Number 10, Jenny and Nate. Although their romance was short-lived, these two made an endearing and often underrated couple. Nate and Jenny became friends early on, and they were unlike any other characters on the show. Even the best friends on the series turned on and manipulated each other, but Nate and Jenny's friendship started out being much purer.
Do you want to go take a walk or something?
With you?
When the world seemed crazy, they often turned to each other, and that's what sparked their relationship. It's a shame that Jenny's character changed so dramatically so quickly, and they never got a real shot.
You kissed me again.
I know.
So, does that mean you don't regret last week?
I guess not.
Number 9, Blair and Dan.
I told Chuck he doesn't have my heart anymore. I realized it belongs to someone else.
After seasons of them constantly at each other's throats, Dan and Blair getting together may have seemed a little weird, but it actually kind of made sense. While many couples on the show are born when characters given to moments of physical temptation, Dan and Blair were very different. With their usual friends occupied, Blair and Dan are forced to bond having no other options. But the more time they spend together, the more they genuinely grow to care about each other. Having never really taken the time to get to know each other before, it was nice to see them actually develop a relationship and discover things they had in common. Number 8, Dan and Vanessa. Unlike with Dan and Blair, we didn't see the friendship between Dan and Vanessa first bloom, since they were already besties when the show started, but we did witness a lot of sexual tension building up between them. Admittedly, it's pretty awkward that they initially hooked up in a threesome orchestrated by Dan's girlfriend at the time. But out of that awkwardness emerged a love for the ages.
I have feelings for you. I'm scared because I don't want to ruin our friendship.
No, neither do I.
They already knew they had a lot in common, and they made a cute little family raising Milo together, who Dan initially thought was his son. Also, it's thanks to Vanessa that Dan's novel got published.
Get it published, take a stand. Be a great man instead of always being a good boy.
Number 7, Serena and Nate. Serena and Nate hooking up was the drama that started it all on this show. It launched several other hookups and breakups, and threw a huge wrench into the lives of the young socialites. But things eventually simmered down, and the two were great friends. It was only inevitable, though, that all the lingering sexual tension there would eventually draw them into a serious relationship.
Hey.
Gosh, you weren't supposed to be here until tomorrow.
I know. My grandfather got sick of watching me text you, so he had the plane bring me home early.
Remind me to send him a gift.
It was super fun to watch the fulfillment of this childhood crush. But naturally with Serena, the queen of drama, it couldn't last. Number 6, Nate and Vanessa. Many of the couples on this show fall prey to the uptown-downtown trope, where they didn't work out because being from different worlds creates too much drama. But Nate and Vanessa were so low-key and never really affected them the way it did the others.
God, this does feel like that doorstep moment.
And what moment would that be?
It wouldn't be Gossip Girl if some drama didn't come for them, though. They still went through a handful of breakups and makeups. But for the most part, they were just really chill, which is exactly what made them so fun to watch. Number 5, Dorota and Vanya. Their love was just so pure. Despite being secondary characters, we still got glimpses of their love blooming throughout the course of the show.
Dorota, from the first moment I saw you, I knew you were princess. And every day you make me feel like king.
We watched them get engaged, get married, and have children. Theirs is arguably the most stable relationship on the show. While all of the kids were busy hooking up, cheating on each other, generally going wild and indulging in lost weekends, Dorota and Vanya were there in the background, setting an example for the type of love we should all strive for.
So many things I love about her. But I think what I love most is the way I feel with her. With Dorota, I am best possible version of myself.
Number 4, Rufus and Lily. They were high school sweethearts who grew apart as they got older, but always still had feelings for each other. When Serena and Dan broke up, they finally got a second chance at their first love, and even got married.
I know that our future will be just like us, flawed and fragmented. and full of more love than I ever thought possible.
It always seemed like a bit of a cop-out that they broke up just because they came from different social worlds. It's probably safe to assume that the real reason the relationship had to end was so that Dan and Serena still had a chance. But it could have easily been Rufus and Lily that ended up together instead.
I don't know why we thought this would be so weird.
Number 3, Eleanor and Cyrus.
Hi, Cyrus. Take you, Eleanor, to be no other than yourself.
I give you my love.
Blair's mom and stepfather met later in life, but they were just as passionate as teenagers, just without all the angst and drama. Cyrus's level of optimism felt really out of place at first because of how dramatic the tone of the show usually is. But he added such a bright spot and was such a great match for Blair's cynical mom. They truly brought out the best in each other and livened up every scene they were in together. If you ask us, we got not enough of these two.
That must be his driver.
Oh, not enough!
Number 2, Serena and Dan. They're the ship that started it all.
You really go out with some guy you don't know?
Well, you can't be worse than the guys I do know.
S and Lonely Boy are the main couple of the show, with their on-again, off-again romance that spans the entire series.
It was so romantic what you did, showing up here. And it feels so right to be together.
Defying the odds of their drama-fated lives, they spent the whole first season together in a pretty spectacular whirlwind romance that could make any teenager envious.
I know, you think all the money that we spent on this private school, they could at least give us a comfortable spot to make out.
And though they drifted apart and both found love with other people in subsequent seasons, they always managed to remain good friends and keep finding their way back to each other. Before we get to our top pick, here are some honorable mentions.
It's my pin. I sewed it there so you'd always have my heart on your sleeve.
I know.
This is Jonathan, my boyfriend.
It's nice to meet you both.
Nice work, oh my gosh.
What if your dad didn't want to see? Who cares? Who the hell is he not to want you? I would have stayed all summer with you.
Number 1, Chuck and Blair.
Who's that girl?
I have no idea.
Serena and Dan may be the couple we cheer for, but Chuck and Blair are definitely the most compelling, in a messed up kind of way. All of their crazy ups and downs are super fun to watch. Let's be real, Chuck could be abusive and predatory, and we're not praising either of them as role models. But ironically, in some ways at least, the two are actually perfect for each other.
3 words. 8 letters. Say it, and I'm yours.
They're both so manipulative and maniacal that the only thing better than the two of them clashing at the beginning of the series was them combining forces. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.